Hey everyone, how's it going? It is I, the real Randy Chavez, coming at you today with a Vivi OMI update video. Guys, if you're new, welcome. If not, welcome back. I love y'all. Everyone say hello to Dashi. Hello, Dashi. Commenting, liking, subscribing is a free way to help support the channel. Non-free ways are Patreon and smashing that thanks button down below. So I'm not really going to go over too much of OMI today. That is obviously pretty self-explanatory. That is up about 20% to 0.001177 right now. It obviously clearly is outperforming Bitcoin, Ethereum, the Nasdaq, the Dow, S&P 500. That will the gains are absolutely ridiculous. This is just off the rumor, not even just the rumor, just off the news that we are getting the OMI utility article tomorrow. And Brockman Blockchain says article in quotations because if you do work on something for 2 years, it's most likely not going to be a 3 or 5 minute read. It is most likely going to be a magazine or a textbook. Reese will be doing a bunch of different videos. He's going to be on Viviversity's channel in the next 2 weeks. Him and Kay are going to go over it sometime next week. I'll be going over it. Foster Hill will be going over it. Maybe Taps Trades will make a return and he'll come back and he'll go over it. There's going to be so many different people. There's going to be a lot of information out there. So definitely don't forget to subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications so you can see all of it. It was just on the Paul Barron. I just said I wasn't going to talk about it too much, but here we go. Paul Barron Network, I think around minute 32 of his last stream, it was like a 52-minute stream, was starting to talk about it with his guest. You know, Paul Barron had mentioned that, hey, there's a bunch of these things going on, like you have the article coming out, you have the Viviverse that's going to be demoed at DCon, and so on and so forth. And his guest kind of took all that into consideration, says, really, your accumulation zone is between 0.0010 and 0.0016. At the time, it was about 0.0016, and it's like he expects to go down from there. Obviously, we did reach 0.00187, I think. It was really, really close to 0.0019. Did go down a little bit. Again, give me an extra 50K right now. Somebody buys Dashi for 50K on eBay. 25K of it, if not 30K, would go into OMI right now, knowing full well that we've just had a massive run-up of, what is it, like 75%, 80% over the last week, knowing that you can't run that high without coming down a little bit. I would totally buy now, knowing that we go down to 0.0015 again, wherever we retest, wherever we go. That being said, what happens on the news? They're buying the rumor, they're selling the news. Yes, there might be a little bit of a sell-off. I do think there's going to be a little bit of a cross-trade, though. I do think that and obviously none of this is financial advice, but on the day of the news, which is tomorrow, a bunch of people are going to sell that because they are in major, major profit. And then there is going to be a bunch of people that are going to FOMO in. So the shares that are being sold and the shares that are being bought, there's going to be a large cross trade. Which way does it break up or down? How many extra left over? Is there going to be more supply, more things being sold than demand, or will demand, kind of overeat everything? I don't know. Nobody knows. But I will say that not everyone, I don't think, will understand 100% what the OUP shows. So I'll probably be going live tomorrow for it. I'll probably be going live tonight as well, just to talk about a bunch of other stuff. But that's kind of the OMI news for the day. And like I said, I'll go live tonight, and I'll go live when it happens tomorrow. In other, I guess, somewhat competitor news, Recur put out a statement saying you agree on behalf of yourself, and if, to the extent of applicable, you respect present and former parents. Basically, it put out a thing saying that they are not responsible for a bunch of different things on their app. Most notably saying the avoidance of doubt. If you are a creator, you release from agreements and obligations set forth above includes your release of the releases from any creator agreements or other agreements between you and any of the releases and any obligations thereunder. Basically an overcomplicated way of saying, hey, this might not be the best scenario for you. Which goes with what I was saying the other day when these major agencies like Recur, like Palm, and like Vivi, they sign major licensors. It's not forever. And if there ever was a fear of any licensors leaving one company and going to another, I do not believe any licensor will leave Vivi and go to someone else. I believe any licensors will leave wherever they are, realize the mistake they've made because the audience where they are isn't there, and they will most likely come to Vivi. If Vivi accepts them. Again, David had said that they're not really doing any C or B tier stuff right now. He's only signing A+ tier, things that have like 50 million followers or more. So the absolute powerhouse that this is already, but what it will become. I do feel bad for any other platforms out there right now because it's not like it was 3 years ago where, okay, you have to compete with, everyone's new to the space and there was a barrier of entry, but now you have to compete with not just Vivi in 2019, which didn't even have an app. You have to compete with 2022 Vivi, which has hundreds of millions of dollars of revenue each year, at least in the top line, worth billions. Yeah. Moving on, my friend Meg, who is, you've seen her on the podcast before. She's a teacher. A lot of the kids that she subs for, or that she substitute teaches for, has said, she's asked them, what do you want for Christmas? Many of them want V-Bucks. Many of them want different things so they could buy different things online. Thought that is very, very interesting. I think that in the next year or so, we do get kids next year saying, I want some Vivi NFTs. I want some gems. I want some OMI, just because they know what they can do with that in the virtual world, especially when the Viviverse comes out. Got some Star Wars news. Record breaker, $114,000 sale for 1982 Star Wars first commercial release of big box factory sealed Beckett VHS 8.0. 6 figures for that unopened. It's just absolutely bananas. I saw some people really talking about how R2-D2 and C-3PO, the new ones, kind of diluted the old ones for the golden moments, but their first appearances, I didn't see any significant decrease in those prices. Comment down below if you did, but to me it looked like they were actually up over the last 7 days. Now that could just be market sentiment in general. A lot of people buying because just because they know that crypto to gem is coming, and they know that OMI to NFT is, that type of deal, or crypto pay-in, I should say. I don't know if it's crypto to gem or if it's crypto to whatever. We'll find out tomorrow, but it's possible that it happened to go up because of that, and maybe without the announcement of crypto pay-in, it might have gone down. But I think they are very separate. I think one is, it's a first appearance. You can't really you'll never be able to take that away. But these ones that were just released are very scarce. I really do like them. I want to have them all. Be advised, guys, every single new Charizard that comes out, even though Charizards tend to make sets, if you have a Charizard coming out in your set, the set's probably going to do well for a new Pokemon set. It doesn't take away from the first edition base set. It doesn't take away from the, first edition Blaine's Charizard or the Dark Charizard. It doesn't take away from that. It's just added things. That being said, we are relatively small in the amount of users that we have. Can things happen to go one way because people are just shifting around gems? Sure, that's possible as well. But for the most part, I'm not worried about that as a collector, it diluting any of the shares. Speaking of people, I had, speaking of other purchases, I was hanging out with two whales last night. I don't know if they consider themselves, well, they bought some really kooky things. This person went super hard on the X-Men Deadpool Uncommon, the Marvel Mighties, has 401 of those, and is like, if any NFTs, what would you get? And I was like, well, there's a lot to get, but from me to him, and and his friend, his business partner, which we're all friends, said, like, I'd really get a logo. And what did they get this morning? They got a logo. The one that was for $39.95 or $4,000, that was bought by my friend under my tutelage. And this is not financial advice for any of y'all. This was kind of advice to him. I even told him, if you had an extra $4,000, I'd put it into OMI. But if you have the gems and, don't take it out, whatever, then I would buy that. And lo and behold, it happened. So just kind of news on that front. Speaking of news, this is probably what I'm going to put in the thumbnails, probably what I'm going to put in the title. Deadpoo Whale says, shall we release it yet? And it was a little cartoon of David talking to Al Khan, and it was David saying, hey, Pokemon, should we release? And Al's like, not yet, not yet. So they squished the Pokeball that they have into a, that new droid drop, the Lala, Princess Leia's little droid in the Obi-Wan series. And David retweeted it and said, bullseye. Oh, tell me you have Pokemon without telling me you have Pokemon. And I will mention one specific spot in that space we had the other day. Lori Brenner had the space at Lori Brenner 13, and David, you and Al Khan were on it. And before I got to ask a question, she asked about the P word. And yeah, he said that they were just in talks, and I immediately tried to calm everyone down by saying this doesn't guarantee that we have it. It just says that we're in talks. Talks could go wrong, But David did mention something about timing to release it. So it's very possible that we do not have an agreement yet, but it is possible that the only thing holding up the agreement is us being in a recession, and the recession might get worse. And unemployment could still go up. Putin could do a thing, and this could drag on for another 6 months, 9 months, whatever it is, and it just could be interpreted that Vivi and Pokemon are the only thing that's stopping them from dotting the I's and crossing the T's is for us to get out of this recession. When he talked about timing it. Now, it could also be interpreted where David says, okay, we're trying, we can close this whenever we want, but we're trying to time it to where we have the better advantage. Again, I don't know, y'all go listen to that and tell me what you think. And comment your thoughts on that particular spot down below. Oh, so if you want to go to Decon but you don't have a pass, if you live really close, if you hold a Hype Bow or Decon mascot collectible on Vivi, enter now for your chance to win a weekend pass to Decon. Is in Anaheim, taking place on November 19th and 20th, and the 18th is VIP. And come hang with the fam. So it's a Decon pass giveaway that they're doing. Pretty cool with that. So Brock McBlockchain does tweet, says, tomorrow, likely, although it's going to be Saturday, we will all see the OUP and know truly how much of a bonfire is about to kick off. Unrelated, the VV wall is nearly ready. Yet another way to burn OMI. If you're like, what? It's because I'm moving and you're not listening. That's on though, soon. So basically what that is a place where you could go and advertise. You can go and advertise a video or advertise a company, and you could be like, pay a certain amount of OMI, let's say $5 worth of OMI, and suddenly you're number one. And then Foster Hill can go and be like, well, Chavez, I'm going to put in $10 worth of OMI, and now I'm number one. And Taps Trades can go on and be like, well, I'm going to put in $20 worth of OMI, half of which I think gets burned, and he'll go to number one. And then I could say like, okay, well, I'm going to play, instead of playing for myself, I'm going to play against others. And I can go and pay $15 so that Taps goes from number one to number three. And it's just a fun way to kind of everyone say, hey, I'm number one, but it burns OMI in the process. And you could, if y'all hate me, you could be like, let's make Chavez number 0. And, you put in a bunch of OMI to make me go down, which forces me to put in more OMI to make me go back up. It's a really fun game to do, I think. And I think that people can vote for their favorites and vote against people that they don't like, and they can burn OMI in the process. I think it's beautiful. We do have pirate.eth, or Pirate Angel, saying, for anyone new to OMI, from March 6th to the 19th of 2021, OMI ran from near its current price of 0.002 to 0.014, an increase of 600% in 2 weeks. This was before anyone knew what VV Official was, before Marvel, before Disney, before Star Wars, before billions were burned, and before utility. And that might happen again soon. Granted, that was in a bull market. So I did have somebody make the argument saying, trying to give an example of Buy the Rumor, which was a week ago, and possible sell the actual news event coming Saturday, so everyone in real time can see how markets generally work. Now we break the top of the range, it's game on. Brock McBlockchain goes and he responds saying, markets will market. OUP, once it's in place, even a single part of it, switches us to deflationary for circulation. I've seen a tiny slice of it before. It's a beautiful thing. This version of the OUP will be regulatory compliant and work likely even better from what I'm guessing. Pretty hopeful for that too. Also, he did tweet something saying squints, probably nothing to see. See spelled SEA as an open C. I'm not 100% sure what that is, but we'll know in due time. We have Alex Gonzalez saying, Decon is coming sooner than you think. There's lots going on this year, so wear comfortable shoes, or just shoes in general if you're a Comey Reese. Of note, artists, visits, merch sales, gold and silver utility. No more cards, though. Special announcements, Viviverse sneak peek, giveaways, and more. So I thought that was really, really interesting. Wendy on there. Say hi, Wendy. Moving on. In the macro, everyone is really accepting crypto. Crypto is dominating, going into new parts of the world. We do have VMware, which has 334,000 followers on Twitter, saying today, VMware blockchain is announcing Tel Aviv Stock Exchange as a strategic customer and new integrations with Fireblocks HQ and Web3 Labs. Learn how it's driving enterprise adoption of Ethereum and features in beta release. Fidelity is also now allowing users to get on their early access list to trade Ethereum, so congrats to them. Just more exposure to Ethereum, more exposure to the markets. We have Kaki Gaijin saying, is this OMI pump going to end in a dump? I think so. Hard to know with the world as it is right now. And Brock Blockchain to the rescue comes and tweets, short term it won't matter. Long term, we don't have enough OMI to escape the burns that are coming. We do have Phil Nice 272 saying, do you know how you guys make vaults? Mine sucks. And he tweets at a bunch of people. And it's really cool, golden moments, and they got the Vivi logo on top. And then David goes and retweets it, saying you may need to balance it with more silver, gold and silver. Just talking about the Vivi logo, hyping it up again. Today, Immutable X has enforced a protocol-wide royalties on Layer 2, announcing immutable royalties, extending this option to anyone on Ethereum. Guaranteed royalties are non-negotiable for this industry to become mainstream appealing. Why? Secondary market monetization is better business model. We prevent games from even taking that leap if there's no guarantee. Marketplaces can't monetize successfully unless there's consistent economic standards. Users should vote with wallets on fair royalties. And 1.8 billion has been earned in creator royalties on ETH, and that will balloon to over 100 billion in the coming years in gaming alone. It's essential we provide options for guaranteed this, or games and creators cannot afford to adopt Web3, or worse, revert to misaligned monetization. One last thing from David Yu. We have ZooMai over on Twitter says, when next anime collectibles? And he was looking at, you have the Peely, the Pylai thing in front of Luffy. And Luffy is one of the main biggest characters in the anime world. Obviously, anime in general is huge, but when you have the Pirate King there coming in, and then David responds saying, soon. I don't know if that was him responding saying, soon we're going to have One Piece, or soon we're just going to have more anime. Comment down below your thoughts. Anyway, guys, that's it for me. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Everyone say bye-bye to Dashi. Bye-bye, Dashi. I love you guys. Goodbye.